Hi, it's Jay from Iridescent Tarot back with some more sparkle for you. And today I'm wearing this 333 Support perfume. It says it's rose pepper, but it does not smell like either of those things. It's just the most gorgeous, beautiful vanilla. One of my top favorite perfumes. Originally, I found this in candle form, and I had emailed the company asking, like, do you have any plans to make a perfume of this? They were like, no. They sent me on this wild goose chase for something similar. I bought that. It wasn't the same. And then I happened to be in a metaphysical shop and I saw this and I was like, oh my God, they finally made one. So I bought this. I'm super happy with it. It smells very, very similar to the candle. And I love it. The candle, unfortunately, did create like a lot of black soot, so I don't like burning the candle anymore, but the smell of this perfume, I'm just so happy that I get to have it in perfume form now. And then my nail polish is Zombie Claw Strawberry Milk. So very, very cute. Today I wanted to talk about the Magical Nature Tarot by the SiNK Spirit Collective, and that would be Jorie and their team of spirit guides. I discovered this deck through my channel because one of my subscribers and a well-known commenter in the TarotTube community, Whale Song 813, recommended this in my comment section. And Whale Song has been just such a supportive person. Like ever since I started posting videos, they were there in the comment section cheering me on, giving like wonderful feedback, participating in any of the questions. I see them commenting pretty much on all the TarotTubers videos, and I'm just so grateful that we have people like you in the community who, even though you're not making videos, you are like a staple in the community. And you get to know us through our videos well enough to like recommend a deck that like immediately resonated with me. And so I'm very thankful for you and for anybody else who watches the videos and comments and participates in that way. So Magical Nature Tarot is a deck that was created in collaboration with dozens of plants and 2 metals, so copper and iron, and the ingredients, the handmade natural inks were all foraged. And so you have this super, super textural, like natural color palette throughout the deck. I did get like a dinged copy at a discount, so it had like a little ding there and a ding on the book, and that doesn't bother me the least. So there are so many things that I love about this deck. The artwork is channeled by Jorie Morgan with guidance from the natural world, and uses collage with bits of natural ink, monotypes, natural dye eco prints, natural ink painting, and then the images were photographed in daylight and set upon these like beautiful linen natural paper backgrounds, to kind of emphasize the shadows and the different parts of the artwork. And just every single thing was really thoughtfully done in this deck. The guidebook is also channeled guidance and is available both hard copy like this or in PDF form, but I really don't enjoy PDF guidebooks. I just think that it kind of pulls me out of the reading if I have to look at an electronic device. These are standard tarot size, so they're 2.75 by 4.75, and it's on Eco Herbage cardstock with natural inks. So one of the things that I had asked Jorie about is specifically, this was mentioned to be the second printing cardstock, that the company changed the version of the cardstock in between printings. So some of the information about the difference in the cardstock is, and this is quote from Jorie, the second printing cardstock is also Eco Herbage. It is a bit tougher. The first had a tendency to fold over with repeated usage, more compact and thus thinner, a bit less porous, so the water-based coating feels a bit more slick or slippery, and a bit darker in color, so the images are a bit darker in this printing. The second printing is the version I use as my day-to-day deck because it's hardier and I've become very fond of it. The second printing started shipping to buyers in mid-January 2025. I made sure that the description in the Etsy shop included this updated information. If buyers purchase the deck from other than Etsy, this date does not apply. And you can tell if you have the first or second printing based on which version of the Four of Wands you have. So the first version is 4 glasses and 4 hands is the first printing, and the second version is a human and dog celebrating on their path is the second printing. So that's the information that I could get about the printing. Now, I have one other deck with Eco Herbage cardstock from MPC, and even though I ordered these blue bones in August, just from the information that Jorie gave, I feel like this deck is the older Eco Herbage because it's like, I don't know, something about it. I have no way to prove this, but these cards feel like thinner and sturdier. These ones have more of like this floppy, airy, lightweight texture. Like the surface of them, this feels more like of a wax coating. It still has that texture that the Eco Herbage has, but it does feel like a little bit smoother, like almost there's like an extra layer of coating. If I hold it up to the light, I get a little bit more sheen on the Magical Nature Tarot than I do from these blue bones. So I just have the hunch that this is the old type of Eco Herbage and this is the new kind, but I have no way to prove that. I love that the paper that the images are on are all different shades of that natural color. I think that that's really, really cool. Like I love little things like that. And the backs are made from, they're cut out from this larger image. It would have been really cool to have like different backs with little different pieces of this original artwork, but can't have everything. And then Eco Herbage cardstock, I don't think that you can get gilding or anything, and it really wouldn't suit the vibe of this deck. So this is one of the rare decks that I feel like, oh yeah, no gilding is better for it. It's very rare that I say that. The guidebook. So what we have here is an introduction, plant and metal guidance, majors, minors, coven cards, which are the court cards renamed, and then tarot spreads and strategies. The minors do have standard names, wands, cups, swords, pentacles, but the court cards are renamed as coven cards, and you have the seeker, apprentice, mentor, and ancestor. And so the SiNK Spirit Collective is like the channeling that Jorie does, their personal guides. So Jorie is the I in the SiNK Spirit Collective. One of the reasons that I really wanted the guidebook is that it specifies all the different plants and metals that are used in the cards. So here's like an overview of the different things that were used, but then on each card, you've got your plant and metal collaborators. So for the Fool, you've got logwood, which is the dark blue background. Logwood with copper oxide, the light blue background. Ginkgo leaf is the tan and light blue imprint of the leaf behind the figure. I don't know how to say this. Coreopsis is the golden shirt. Black walnut is the brown ground, and then copper oxide are the light blue green shorts. And so anytime that you're looking at a card and you're wondering, oh, like, what is that? You can come here and look and see what the plant and metal collaborators were, which is just wonderful. And then you have your channeled guidance. Now, as I do when I'm like super into a deck, I look at any resources online, anything that the creators put out there. I watch if there's an interview, like Jorie did an interview with Kasha from Tarot Map. I watched that, and Jorie had no tarot experience prior to making this deck. They were at like an art retreat or something like that where the idea came to them. Sometimes I can get a little bit like iffy about like decks from creators who don't have a ton of tarot experience, but I really felt like with Jorie's deck, there was a lot of integrity behind the creation of this deck. And so I don't have any qualms about this being made by somebody who doesn't have a whole load of tarot experience. Jorie said that they use the deck now, so that they read tarot now. So you get just as much information in the minors as the majors. I love that. One small complaint I have is that the quartz or the coven is separated all into the back, which that's not my favorite thing. I've said that before with Marguerite Peterson tarot. Like, I don't like when guidebooks don't follow like an intuitive way of finding the card in the guidebook, but that's like small potatoes if you like everything else about the deck. Then there's a few spreads back here. Yeah. So big fan of the guidebook. So there are plenty of flip throughs of this deck online that have them in order. So I'm sorry that mine aren't, but I just wanted to do a quick flip through so you could see all the cards. And here is that updated Four of Wands card that Jorie had mentioned. I like this card. I think that's fun, but I also didn't mind the old one. The sun looking like a sundial. One of the things that struck me the most about the artwork is you could tell the skill in the artwork. Just how simplistic some of the cutouts are, but in order to be that simplistic and still understand what's happening in the card, you had to have such skill as an artist, like the shading here, to know that that's a chin and somebody blowing on this dandelion with the cups. Like, this was one of the cards that sold me on like the artistic beauty and skillfulness. As I've mentioned, I really enjoy collage artwork these days, and I feel like this takes collage artwork to the next level. You have these beautifully done collage elements, but they're all handcrafted from collaborating with nature, and it's exactly what the name is, a magical nature tarot. Like, Jorie made magic with these pieces. I also really liked that the suits had different colors for the names. So the wands had red writing, the swords had like this grayish black writing, the pentacles had brown writing, and the cups had blue writing. I really loved how the ancestors were all kind of blended into the background. So they just like were a part of the earth. That very much reminds me of the Gaia Lessons from the Earth Oracle. And I think that that oracle and this would pair up well. And the majors have like deep brown titles. One thing that I did notice is the numbers are all part of the collage, and then they're also up top. So I don't think that it was entirely necessary to have both, but that's like a small complaint as well. I just think this is so beautiful. Texturally. This hummingbird, I love. Legs up the wall for Four of Swords. I love that. Again, just with the skillful painting of the natural inks, like you can tell that this is a person walking away from cups, even though there's not a whole lot of elements included in the collage. The way that that it's painted, you could just tell exactly what it is with no issue. I think that the art style definitely evolved throughout the project, because in all the majors, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like there were no actual faces in any of the images. But then as you go on through the minors, you do have some more details in the actual people. I think I do like having no faces a little bit better, but that's a very personal choice. I love this Hermit card. Huge, huge moon. You almost think that it's the moon card, but then you have this tiny little hermit there, like looking up, gazing at the moon, trying to think about the unconscious. As you can see, some of the images lean a little bit more Rider-Waite than others. I like the mix of the traditional with some of the newer ways that Jorie thought about the cards. I'm not sure if it's just because of the renaming of the courts, but because there are ancestor cards, this deck does give a feeling of being lending itself to ancestor work. And that's not something that I do a whole lot of in my practice, but I enjoy having that kind of opportunity or lean there for me should I choose. The Fool is one of those cards that I love the most. I actually made the Fool card my phone background because Jorie has all the images up on the website. And one thing that I noticed by having this image as my phone background is without the borders, the artwork was way easier for me to soak in some of the details. And so I almost think that this deck might have been better suited by being printed in a 3x5 format with either less or no border. And so that would put it at the same size as these blue bones. Because you can tell with like the sizing, there probably was an issue with the aspect ratio where it wasn't possible to make the image any different. Like you can't fit the full size of the card onto a standard tarot size, but you might have been able to almost make it onto a 3x5 with enough space to have like a small title at the bottom with this like, you know, background or whatever. So that would be my other critique, is that I wish the images, like they don't take up as much of the card as I would have liked, and I can tell why. And I think that just like they might have done better in a larger size. That's such an evocative 5 of Pentacles, like from the expression on the face. This is a card where it's like, okay, yeah, sure, have a face on it, because it really, really lends itself to the meaning of the card. This is one of the cards that I'm not super crazy about because I don't really like having like super modern clothing, but that's a me thing. Same with this one. I love this card. Oh, this one also was one of my favorites that showed the just skillfulness of the artwork. Yeah, how Jorie was able to make this look exactly like a mother duck protecting her eggs. Ending on the world. Okay. The other card that I don't entirely love is the Apprentice of Cups, because it almost looked like they have devil horns with the way that the hair was colored. I just want those like slightly dotted out with a darker color so that it doesn't look like horns. All right, let's do a shuffle. Beautiful. I really like this shuffle. It's lightweight. Oh, we got our jumper. It's lightweight. Oh, my little hermit card. Very lightweight, very soft in the hands, very enjoyable. Yeah, I just really love this cardstock, and I loved it on these blue bones, and I love it here too. Okay, let's see what the guidebook says about the hermit. Channeled guidance. One must look inward in order to look out with clear vision. The human experience is a busy one, full of other humans, other beings, activities, swirling energy, and the complexities of all the systems in which you find yourselves. At times, it is necessary to step away from all this. The hermit is one who makes the choice to isolate, to focus, to remove themselves from the overwhelmingness of human activity and interactions. They've put aside technology, their job, and their relationships, and have committed to isolation and simplicity for a period of time. In this time, the hermit can learn to synchronize and harmonize with themselves. In this time, they can learn to breathe again, to hear again, to see, to feel, and to taste again in new and unencumbered ways. In doing this, they can restart their relationship with all. To be this uncluttered in one's heart, mind, and spirit allows for perspective and an ability to experience the truth of what is. This experience of life and the interaction of all other beings, all other systems, other planets, and other galaxies from micro to macro can be overwhelming unless one is clear. In this card, the hermit has reached this point of clarity. They feel their place in the universe and can tune and align themselves with all that is. If you didn't feel like reading all that, you have your guiding words or ideas, so you can just read here, looking inward in order to look out, perspective, stepping away from busy human experience, finding the clarity needed to experience the truth of what is, aligning with all that is. And then our plant and metal collaborators, you've got the orange part of the moon is onion skin. You've got the purple part of the planet is wild grape. You've got the dark brown black silver of the planet moon, and the brown mountain is black walnut, and the purple pink background is lac. So because the similar cardstock, I really just wanted to use these together, and that was the first pairing that I made when this deck arrived, and I really liked them together. They both have like this cozy moodiness because of the darker tones and the naturalism. Yeah, I like them together. And they just feel good in the hand together. I had to head in a nature direction because obviously. So this is Roots and Wings Oracle. It is a little bit bright and kind of makes magical nature feel even dimmer. Spiritual guidance is a perfect card for this deck. I don't know, I'm a little bit torn on that. There is some like mirroring happening here. I feel like it's not the best aesthetically, but it has like a similar enough theming that I would still use it. A deck that I've been trying to use more is the Spread Machine Quest Edition. You can see if the tones of this work together. For sure. Yes. Yeah, for sure. These go so good. I love it. All right, another one that aesthetically I'm not sure is going to work, but because When Olga Speaks has that ancestor lean to it, I thought interesting. Ooh, okay. Yeah, this works better than I thought. Yes. All right, cool. Great-grandmother's Faded Frontier. Definitely different collage styles and Again, with the white border, like it being so stark white, it's not my favorite look. I don't know about this because I feel like good old grandma is kind of like a slap in the face sometimes, and Magical Nature has like a really gentle hug, embrace, warmth type energy, and grandma doesn't do that. Yeah, no, she's a no. Last deck, this is a Marlana Teresa Made Me Do It. This is the Tau box. So each one has an image on the back and then a lot of words on the front. Yeah. Yeah, cool. So huge thanks to Whale Song 813 for telling me about this deck in the first place. It's not something that I had on my radar at all, but I am so happy to have it in hand now. Thank you to Jorie for making this deck, for taking the time to, wow, it really wants to have, what do we want to know? All right, Justice and the Lovers. It's like another two that are very mirrored and intertwined, the Hands and Justice, and then the Trunks and the Lovers. Yeah, I'm just very grateful to Jorie for all the thoughtful energy put into this deck, and the readings that it's given so far have been impactful and much needed, and I'm very happy to add this to my collection. I will talk to you later. Signing out.